run your body cam?
I am now, because I don't know how legit you are at the moment.
It's okay. Special Agent Hatten. The FBI.
Okay.
You got that on body cam?
I do, but I don't understand what the problem is with you meeting me at the office.
I'll talk to the U.S. Attorney's Office about it. You can cut off the recording device now.
Okay. Well, I will when I leave the area, sir.
You might question why this FBI agent is asking the officer to cut off the recording device. Something doesn't add up here. Red flags for the FBI agent, right? Well, the answer is our Special Agent Hatten was actually investigating police corruption in the Franklin County Police Department. And as a part of this undercover operation, he asked the officer in the video, Mr. Rolf Gordon, to meet him at a random parking lot, perhaps to ask some questions related to the case. However, the officer didn't like the fact that the agent called his personal phone number instead of taking things through his office and grew skeptical of him despite the agent's disclosure of his credentials.
Hey, TJ, this guy is telling me to turn my body camera off and telling me he's going to contact other people to get involved with this. Let me get his tag number real quick. He's got a radio and he's got credentials. Franklin, does that come back to any government agency?
It just says Advanced Wiring Company.
Do you work for a
Doesn't
wiring
say
company?
anything further.
It's a covert vehicle, sir.
Did he seriously think it would? Of course, it's a covert vehicle. What kind of undercover FBI agent would drive in an FBI-registered vehicle?
I do feel like I'm being detained. Am I being detained?
Am I being detained? You're the one who called me here, sir. How did you get my phone number?
I can't do that.
That's a pretty dumb thing to ask from an FBI agent. Hey, if an FBI agent is investigating you, rest assured he knows your number, your address, your affairs, your wife's affairs. Hell, he might even know your breakfast, lunch, and dinner patterns, including what types of boxers you like to wear. It's also important to note here that Agent Hatten had valid reasons for seeking such an informal meeting with Deputy Gordon, as revealed later in the interaction when Agent Hatten subtly hints at his potential involvement in a more extensive inquiry into the sheriff's office that goes beyond the scope of the deputy's citation while conversing with his supervisor.
You can't call anybody in the PD because the PD is just here backing this guy up. It's Franklin County that's holding him. So you have to call the sheriff to let him know that his deputies have him stopped here and are holding me. He's going to ask why. You're not going to be able to tell him.
The plot thickens. Anyway, the officer later goes on to detain him, giving sloppy reasons like, "Oh, I don't trust you being an FBI agent, and you are being uncooperative," when in truth, he was the one who denied checking the agent's registration.
Hey, you are detained at this time, sir. Hey, I don't think this guy's legit, man. But you're being very uncooperative with me. You asked me to come up here. You called my personal cell phone number. You can't tell me how you got it. Your vehicle's coming back to a wiring company, not the
It's
FBI.
a covert vehicle.
Okay. You
Dude,
get
would
mad.
you like to see some registration?
You get mad at me
Would
because
you-
I turned
would
my
you
body
like to-
camera on,
Would you like to see some
and
registration?
you know a lot of stuff about me.
Would you like to see the registration, sir?
I don't really want anything from you at this point. My supervisor's on the way.
Excellent.
Uncooperative? Really? First, do your job as an officer. As the dilemma continued, Agent Hatten even showed his license and his badge for the second time to Officer Gordon, but somehow, Gordon remained unconvinced. Eventually, multiple supervisory officers arrived on the scene, but they were even worse than Officer Gordon and decided to arrest him and put him in the back of the patrol car. Not only this, they even decided to not roll down the windows or turn on the AC, and given the hot day in Florida, it was only inevitable that things didn't go well for Agent Hatten.
Yes, sir.
There, brother.
Okay.
Suffering.
All right. I'm turning it on right now.
Open the door. I can't breathe.
Sir, I can't open the door. You're being detained right now.
As time passed, the agent started complaining, and in spite of his repeated plea, the cop continued to ignore him.
You're burning me up, brother.
I had the defroster on.
No, you didn't. Brother, I need air. God almighty.
All of a sudden, they receive a phone call that should put the entire event to rest.
33, go ahead.
He is legit.
10-4. All right, that's what I'm doing right now.
Here we go. All the proof you need in the world. However, even after this, the officer chooses to retain the agent inside the patrol vehicle, despite receiving explicit confirmation that he is, indeed, an FBI agent. Instead of promptly following the given instructions to release him, the officers continue conversing about the situation. All the while, the agent pleads for his release. It is only after an additional 3 minutes of entirely unnecessary conversation that the agent is finally allowed to exit the vehicle. But sadly, the damage was done.
Call 911. I need a medical attention right now. Unlock me. Call 911. Call 911.
We're releasing you right
no,
now,
call
sir.
911 now. Call 911. I need
33.
After a further 10 minutes, the medics finally arrived and the cop explained the whole situation and said that the man complained about shortness of breath and vision loss.
Started complaining of shortness of breath, vision loss.
In the hours after Hatton was released, FBI agents in brass descended on Apalachicola, meeting with Gordon and the sheriff to find out what happened and why. Both agencies later decided to put the incident in the rearview mirror, followed by Sheriff Smith's promise, and I quote that, "Both our agencies work together a lot better." Smith also agreed to the fact that they needed more training. But honestly, training or no training, that's no way to treat someone, let alone a fellow law enforcer. It's a great example of ego and how ego gets in the way of common sense. It also shows how sometimes police can take literally anything you say or do and turn it against you. Oh, and if you don't say anything, you're being uncooperative, and that's also grounds for suspicion. Fortunately, despite what can only be characterized as disrespect and negligence from the officers, the agent did not sustain any significant injuries.